class, it's Ashley, and I'm back with another mentoring moment. And today I'm talking about authenticity at work, because you can stop faking it and actually make it and advance your career. Too often, high-achieving professional women feel like they have to put on a persona, like they got to be fake, like they got to be phony, like they got to be somebody that they're truly not to actually make more money, have more impact, do impactful and meaningful things in their career. And that's simply not true. I will tell you, as a woman who is very authentic, who shows up as her full self in life and work, that you can do the same. You can show up as your full self. You do not have to fake it till you make it. You don't have to put on. You don't have to be different than who you are. Your authentic self adds real value to the world of work. And I'm going to talk to you about 4 strategies that I use in my own life to show up fully and authentically at work, and how authenticity has actually helped me make more money and have more impact in my career. I'll also talk to you about how showing up authentically has really impacted the lives of some of my most successful mentees, and talk about how, like, when they stop faking it, when they stop trying to put on, when they stop trying to be what they thought they had to be to actually advance their career, they finally saw success. So if this is a conversation that you would benefit from, if this is like, if you struggle with authenticity in the workplace, if you struggle with showing up as your full self, if you're a person who constantly feels like, do I got to be somebody else to get a raise here? Do I have to, go back to school to get another degree to actually be respected in this field in order to make more money? Do I have to be a sellout, or do I have to be a kiss ass? If you've ever struggled with any of that, then you are in the right place, because we're talking about how to stop faking it at work to actually advance your career. I'm Ashley. I am a career development strategist for high-achieving professional women. My commitment to women is to help them make more money and have more impact in their careers using the skills, knowledge, talent, and expertise that they already have. I have had the pleasure of serving hundreds of women who, and many of them may be like you, who already have degrees, already have credentials, already have years of experience. You're bringing a lot to the to the table, if you will, but you're struggling to leverage that expertise to actually make the kind of money you want to make in your career, and actually have the kind of impact that you want to have in your career, and actually move from just surviving in a job to actually thriving in a career. And so that's what I do as a career development coach. And I think one of the first steps to thriving in your career, to shift from just surviving in your career, just hanging on, just waiting on your next paycheck, the way to shift from surviving to thriving in your career is to actually lean into authenticity, to lean into who you already are, to lean into your existing skill sets, your existing talents, the things that you're already good at, and actually better leverage those than trying to fit into a box that wasn't ever meant for you to fit into. And so the first strategy, the first step in really standing in your authenticity and stepping and being authentic at work is to stand in the full confidence of your expertise. For a lot of women in general, and Black women in particular, we are taught to be fake humble. We're taught to shrink. We're taught to, well, don't say too much about yourself. You don't want them to think you're haughty. You don't want them to think you're too much. We're taught to hide, to step back, to not do too much, right? We're taught to shrink. We're taught to not put on airs. We're taught to not say anything good about ourselves. We're taught to hide, to play the set number 2, to play the background, right? We're taught that again and again and again. And for a lot of you, you're an absolute rock star. You're an absolute rock star, sis. You've got the goods. You've got the knowledge. You've got the degree. You've got the skill set. You've got the years of experience. You have the insight. You've got the intel, but you're faking like a dummy at work. You're faking like you don't really know what you're doing at work. You're faking like, well, I don't mind. It's whatever. You're acting like things don't matter at work, and that's actually hurting your career severely. So the first step in really being authentic at work, the first step to stop faking is to stand in your full authentic self. And let me give you an example. One of the things that I know is true about me and my expertise as it relates to my field is that I'm the best at what I do, right? I am an absolute expert in my industry. In addition to running Mentor Me full-time and mentoring women in career development, I also work full-time in industry, right? So I also work in full-time as a senior director in higher education, and I am the best at what I do. No one knows more about online student affairs practice or supporting online students at a university than me. I am an expert in that space. I own my expertise, and I'm very public about my expertise. And whenever I try to shrink behind my staff or someone else who I've worked with, people are like calling me out like, girl, no, don't nobody else know more than that about you. Or no, you need the spotlight here. Or no, you need to go ask Ashley. Like, she's an expert in that space. And time again, right? I've tried to shrink. I've tried to hide. I've tried to act fake humble. I tried to, I'm just going to put this other person on. I'm not going to try to take the credit. And every single time God pushes me right back into the spotlight, and it's like, girl, no, you're the expert here. You really know what you're doing. It's your time to shine. And I get it, right? Like, a lot of us grew up in a household where we were told that we were too much, where we were told that we need to shrink ourselves, where we were told that, we don't want to do too much, be too much, take up too much space because we need to leave space for other people, right? And I want to invite you to reject that, right? It's not that other people don't deserve space and shine, but that they don't deserve it at the cost of you shrinking yourself. Right? You don't have to shrink to make someone else bigger. They can be big and bold in their space, and you can be big and bold in yours. And it's not competition for you to stand out in the marketplace, command exactly what boldly say what you're good at, and command to be paid at the level that you desire and should be paid for in your industry. And I think my only caveat to this is that I think there are some women who struggle with a lot of insecurity about what they're good at. And just throw some hearts up on the screen if this is you. If you struggle with a little bit of insecurity about what you're good at. If you're like, actually, I don't even know if I'm good at anything. I don't know what I'm good at. I'm not sure if I'm an expert, right? And so my only caveat to this idea of standing in the full confidence of your expertise is that if you're unsure about what you're an expert at, if you're unsure about what you're good at, that's a good sign that you need a mentor, right? Because it's not that you're not good at anything. It's not that you don't have skill sets. It's not that you don't have expertise. It's likely that you haven't clearly identified what you're good at, right? It's likely that you haven't clearly identified what your area of expertise is. And that's what my job is, right? As a mentor, my job is to help you clearly, confidently, and concisely identify exactly what you're good at, so you can step into full authenticity in that, and you can use what you're good at to get what you want in your career. And for a lot of you, maybe what you want is a higher level role. You want a higher paying salary. You want more flexibility and autonomy at work. You want a fully remote role. You want a role with great healthcare benefits. You want a role with the 401k that matches. You want a job where you can actually drive impact with communities you care about, right? Like, these are many of the things that women want in their career, and the things that you desire, right? The things that you desire for your life and your career are available to you. But the first step in getting those things is being very clear on what you're good at. And the first step in, like, to stop faking it at work is to actually boldly claim what you're good at. A lot of you are faking it at work because you don't know what you're good at, or you're insecure about what you're good at. So you're constantly second guessing yourself, or you're constantly letting other people second guess you. And just throw some hearts up on the screen. I don't know what to do. Like, just throw some hearts up on the screen if you constantly find yourself second guessing yourself at work. If you constantly find yourself unsure of yourself at work. If you constantly find yourself not quite confident on what your next step should be in your career. Right? If that's you, if that's where you've had some experience with that, just throw some hearts up on the screen. I like to do that to let folks know that you're not alone. If you are in a space in your career where you feel really uncertain, where you feel really insecure, where you feel like, I don't know where the next step is, that's impeding your ability to confidently be bold in your career. That's why you're faking it, because you feel insecure. And let me be very clear that insecurity is a normal human emotion. There is no shame in being insecure in your career, but you want to make sure that your insecurity doesn't turn into you faking it at work, because you faking it at work can be very detrimental to your career. Let me give you an example. So I used to have a staff member who worked in mental health services, who wasn't super confident about her ability to work with people from different backgrounds and cultures than hers. She was very skilled in the work that she did. She had degrees and credentials in her industry, but she didn't have the cultural competency, or she didn't have the experience working with people who were different, who had different racial, socioeconomic statuses than she did growing up. And so she would fake it when she would meet with those clients and with those students. She would fake it and pretend to be hip and pretend to know what she was talking about, or pretend to have similar cultural backgrounds than they did. And it ended up in being a disaster because people could see right through it. She was faking it at work. And that reeked of inauthenticity, that reeked of posing, that reeked of like lying and dishonesty. And of course that meant that people didn't trust her, right? You can't trust somebody who you know is faking it. You can't trust somebody who you know is being inauthentic. And then as a leader of that organization, I couldn't trust you to promote you, to give you a raise, to give you more responsibility, because I know you out here faking the funk, right? And so maybe that's you in your career right now. Maybe you are very much faking the funk. Maybe you actually don't know how to do your job well. Or maybe you do know how to do your job well and you should be a higher level role, but you're faking like you don't know what you're doing, or you're faking like I can just stay here and be comfortable in this role, even though you know you should be in a higher level of leadership and authority and a higher level of pay at this stage in your career. Either way, you've got to stop faking it at work, because faking it at work impedes your ability to be authentic. It impedes your ability to stand in your own truth. It impedes your ability to be seen as a leader in the organization. Right? And then, of course, it impedes your ability to make the kind of money you desire. And so the first step to actually being authentic at work, the first step to stop faking it at work, is to stand in full confidence of your expertise. And if you are unsure of what your expertise is, if you're unsure of what you're good at, then that's a sign that you need mentorship. I'm accepting new mentees right now. And I invite you to join the Mentor Me Accelerator. It's a great opportunity for you to get super clear on exactly what you're good at, learn how to speak to what you're good at in a way that's actually going to make employers take notice and see you as a top candidate in their organization, right, for their open position. So definitely encourage you, if you need that kind of support, if you're not sure what you're good at, or you know what you're good at, but you don't know how to talk about it in a way that's actually going to make employers take notice, the first step for you is to schedule a call with me. I have availability this week, and you can go right to my website at mentor-me.org. I'm going to put the link to my website in the chat, so you can go ahead and schedule a call with me this afternoon or tomorrow, so that we can get you started on some strategies for you to show up real authentically at work and to stop faking it. So strategy number 2 is to build meaningful relationships based on mutual respect. A lot of high achieving professional women have gotten to a point in their career where they feel like they don't need anybody, right? I don't need to mentor. I don't need to build relationship with my boss. I don't need to build relationship with my coworkers. I'm going to do me. I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to grind it out, and everybody else better just deal with it, right? And this is a vulnerable space. This is an opportunity to be vulnerable. Just raise your hand if you are currently at or have ever been at that stage in your career. And my hand is raised here, right? Because I think that there were times in my career where I was like, you know what? I don't have time for mentorship. I don't need nobody telling me what to do. I'm just going to use this degree as best I know how and go out here and try to collect this money and get a bag and try to enjoy my career for the best that it is, right? Like, I don't need no help. I can do everything by myself. I don't need to have a good relationship with my boss. I don't like them. They don't like me. And it is what it is, right? And one of the things that I have learned, right, it was a painful lesson, but I have learned, is that you must build meaningful relationships based on mutual respect across your career to be successful in industry. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter who your coworkers are. It does not matter who your boss is. You need to be able to build a meaningful relationship based on mutual respect. Now, let me be very clear, because this is the biggest pushback I get about authenticity and building relationships at work. Well, I ain't gonna kiss nobody's ass, and I'm not gonna follow the leader, and I'm not just gonna do what other people tell me to do. Like, girl, this ain't about that. This is not about that. This is not about that. It is critical to build meaningful relationships with people based on mutual respect to be successful in your career. Even if you were an entrepreneur, even if you were in business for yourself, you are still going to have to build meaningful relationships based on mutual respect. So stop trying to make this be about your boss or your industry, or I'm just going to go and be an entrepreneur because I don't want to deal with nobody. Everybody got to deal with somebody. So instead of trying to be a contrarian, Just accept the truth of life, that we have to deal with other humans. At every point in human existence, we're going to have to deal with other humans. And your commitment to being standoffish at work, and your commitment to not engaging anyone at work, and your commitment to saying, well, I don't want to build a relationship with my boss, and I hate my coworkers. That's fine. You can hate them, but you either need to figure out a way to build a meaningful relationship with them based on mutual respect, or find a new job, one or the other. And if you're looking for a new job because you can't build relationships with them, then again, that's a sign that you need mentorship. Right? So that we can actually build a job search that's going to yield results, and that you can actually, in your next role, build meaningful relationships with your colleagues. Right? You need help finding and securing a new role, and finding the right role where you can actually be in an organization where you want to build relationships with the people that you work with, because it's required. And I learned a very hard lesson about this. I'll never forget. I was in a role. I was an assistant director at the time. I was kind of like a high and by person. Good morning, good night. Have a good day. Like, I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to engage people. At the time, I was working at a mid-sized university in rural Indiana. I thought, I don't have anything in common with these people. These people are not my people. We don't bang like that. We not the same kind of people. I said good morning and I said good night, and that was all they was going to get from me, right? And I thought that was okay. Right? I had mentors who told me, well, you don't got to be these people friends. You don't got to say nothing to them about your weekend. You just come in, do your job, and leave. Right? It was poor mentorship on their part. It was horrible advice. But I took it like, yeah, give me this. This is great. I'm just going to say hi, say bye, and be out. I don't got to talk to nobody. I don't got to gauge nobody. And I'm not going to kiss nobody's ass, right? I don't got to be friends, right? That was my whole mentality. And just throw some hearts up on the screen if that's your current mentality about the world of work, or you've had that mentality before. Well, I don't got to be friends with these people. We not a work family, right? I get it. And as a Black, young presenting woman in the workplace, I'm like, I don't have nothing in common with these people. These people talking about their kids, their dogs, their fishing trips. This is not, I don't have no kids, no dogs, and I don't fish, right? Like, I was just like, we have nothing in common. What are we going to talk about? But it was my ego, right? And this is what often happens, right? Our ego and our inability to build meaningful connections with people gets in the way of our ability to actually advance our career. Now, and I will be the first to tell you, networking is not the key to success in career. Networking is not the key to success. I know people think you're supposed to smooth your way to the top, but it doesn't work like that. Because if you get to the top via smoothing and networking, you're just going to be able to just as easily slide right back down. You need to be able to build relationships, leveraging your expertise, but based on mutual respect, because there are other people in the organization that do valuable work just like you do. You want them to see you as valuable. You need to be able to see them as valuable. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about being, building relationships with people who are racist or sexist or homophobic or any, ageist or any other ism that exists in the world. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who you can actually build relationships with, and people who you can actually respect, and people who see your humanity and honor you. It's time to stop faking at work like you hate everybody and everybody hates you. Right? And if that's true for you, that's a sign, again, that you need mentorship, because it's time for you to exit out of that organization. And if you've been trying to exit for weeks and months and years and it's not working, that's a sign that you actually need help, because the longer you stay there, the more you're ruining your reputation in the industry and your career. So we need to build a strategy to get out ASAP, right? We can't stay stuck in a place where we can't build meaningful relationships. So we either need to learn how to build meaningful relationships. That's absolutely something I teach in my Mentor Me mastermind. Or we need to find and secure a new job so that we can build relationships in a new organization, because this organization is not a good fit for us. And that's something I teach in my Mentor Me Accelerator. So either way, I'm here to serve you, right? I'm here to serve you. So strategy number 3, right? Number 1, we talked about standing in the full confidence of your expertise. The number one way to build authenticity at work and to stop faking it is to know what you're good at, so you can stop being insecure. And if you don't know what you're good at, if you struggle with that, let me mentor you, right? I'm here to serve you and help you understand what you're good at and how valuable that skill set is in the marketplace. Number 2 is to build relationships based on mutual respect. You are not going to be successful in the world of work by hating everybody you work with. It's just not going to happen. You need to be able to build meaningful relationships. You don't got to be friends with everybody. You don't got to be friends with anybody, but you need to be able to build a relationship, and it needs to be based on mutual respect. If you have struggled with that over the course of your career, it's time for mentorship. Number 3, you need to be able to leverage your futuristic thinking skills to help move the organization forward, right? A lot of you are bright, you are smart, you're capable, you have so many great ideas, but you're stuck in well, it is what it is, and that's how they do things around here, so ain't nothing I can do about it, right? You can no longer afford to be stuck in it is what it is mentality. You can no longer afford to be stuck in an organization that's 5, 10, 15, 20 years beyond the times, and you're not driving innovation in that organization. It's time to stop faking that like the systems and the processes in this organization are working. They are not. A lot of you are working in broken organizations, and you perpetuate that brokenness by staying there, and you know stuff ain't working, right? It's time to either get the help you need to become a boss in this organization and actually be a leader in this organization that can drive innovation and change, or exit the organization. And again, either way, I'm here to mentor you and support you in that. But you can't stay there. Not in this role, not at this level. You are a futuristic thinker. You have great ideas. You want to drive innovation. You want to drive the organization forward. You have, strategies to improve things, but they won't happen. You won't see them realized if you stay stuck in your current role at your current pay level and in your current depressive state about your career. It's time to get mentorship so that you can move your career forward, either up in this organization to drive change or out of this organization to drive change. But either way, we're driving change, up or out, right? And then the fourth strategy for being authentic at work and to stop faking it is to only work for organizations whose values are aligned with your own. And let me just give you a quick crash course on values. I define values as what guides your decision making. They're the words, the phrases, the approaches that if it's present, you like, yeah, I'm about it. I'm excited about it. If it's not present, you don't want nothing to do with it. For example, one of my biggest values is ease, right? I will not be stressed out. I will not be overwhelmed. I do not let people drive me crazy. I will not allow it. If there is not ease in a situation, if everything is hurried and we got to do this fast and it's got to work, like if I don't work in them kind of environments, ease is a priority for me. I work in an industry that's full of ease, right? That doesn't mean that it's easy. That doesn't mean that we're lackadaisical. That doesn't mean that we don't have any sense of urgency. But in general, we operate from a place of ease. Maybe for you, one of your values is wealth, right? You're like, I need to find and secure a new job that's going to pay me a minimum of 6 figures. I'm trying to build wealth, and that's a value for me. Well, I love to see it, sis. I love to see it. Wealth is a value of mine also. So if wealth is a value of yours, if that's something that you prioritize, if that's a priority for you, then why are you still working in a role that's only paying you $55,000 annually, right? Stop faking it. You know that you value wealth. You know that you value building wealth. You know that you value generational wealth. You know that you're envious of wealthy people. You know that you desire more wealth for your family and for generations to come, but you're still in a role that is not driving you toward wealth. The way for you to actually be authentic in your career and actually get what you want out of your career is to actually find and secure a new role that's going to value you for your expertise and pay you at the level that allows you to build wealth in the ways that you desire, right? No more faking it at work. We've got to stop that, because you faking like I'm okay with this salary range. You faking like I don't have the values that I have will keep and perpetuate you into a place where you know you don't desire to be. And so if you know you're in a place where you're ready to stand boldly in your truth, if you know you're in a place where you're ready to actually be authentic at work, if you know you're in a place where you know you need more to advance your career, then I invite you in mentorship. I'm accepting new mentees right now, and you can take the first step in working with me by scheduling a call with me on my website. You can do so at mentor-me.org. That's mentor-me.org. You can see the link right in the pinned comments. I invite you to schedule that call. I'm looking forward to serving you. Thanks so much for watching today's live. Bye.